Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to a new episode of Home Turf with Tuck and Murph. We're starting something new here. It's going to be a little bit of a new brand, have some new segments, have a new logo, have a new this and that. First thought was a great first thought. It was a great first thought. It was a great first effort. Um, well, you got to start somewhere. I think everywhere has started somewhere and ended up somewhere else. So everything great has started somewhere, ended up somewhere else. So we're trying to get to somewhere else. We're trying to get to the next step in improving this game, getting some things going. We're on Zoom now, um, you know, on Spotify, stuff like that. So it's gonna start kicking off. So our new name, as we just said it, is Home Turf with Tuck and Murph. Has a ring to it. Has a ring to it. So as usual, per usual, we're gonna keep this the same because we like this. Tuck, would you please kick it off with our obscure sports fact of the day?
Yes, absolutely. So it will lead us right into a topic that we have on the docket here today. But 1952, on this day, February 24th, Canada wins the sixth Olympic ice hockey title courtesy of a final round 3-3 tie with the U.S. at the Oslo Winter Games. Canadian center Billy Gibson top scores with 19 points. But I'm confused by that now
Wow,
that I say
a
it.
lot of points.
They win, but they tie. It doesn't say anything about OT or a shootout or anything. Do you think that maybe it was just like they had the most points in the tournament?
That's a really good question because there's got to be a gold medal game. And then the Olympic style format is a golden goal. So it could have been
Is it? That's
tied. Yeah, because they call it a tie because like on the score sheet it'll be 3-3 win. I'm pretty sure.
hmm.
Well, you
Oh,
said
okay.
1994?
No, 1952.
Oh, whoa, whoa, wait, whoa.
Yeah,
1952 Olympic Games?
yeah. Hockey Olympic Games,
That's
Oslo,
strange.
Oslo.
Hockey final. Oh, hell yeah, India entered a team. Oh, yeah, on that same news, India scored his first goal against somebody, India hockey. Um, I think they proceeded to let up 30, but
Mm.
they were up 1-0.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
I love
Canada
that.
defeats USA. Um, let's see, who won the first game in a 3-3 tie against the United States? Oh, yes, you are correct. That record was enough to give them the gold medal. So it wasn't a gold medal game, it was overall record. That's lame. That's stupid and dumb, and I don't like that.
I hope there were people pissed off about that.
You like to think that in 1952, the boys coming back from World War had a chance to win that shit.
Yeah,
Um, and they
yeah.
took it away from us.
Yeah, especially because those fucking Canadians in the World War, they were really against us.
Scared ass country. Scared ass country.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, honestly, the Four Nations has been all the buzz. The only reason I know anything about it is because every single person is talking about it. And
No doubt.
I don't know. I just did not watch a single one of the games, to be honest. I saw
I watched a couple. I watched the first Canada USA game and obviously the last one. And then when I was at a bar, I was watching Finland versus USA or no, no, I'm sorry, Sweden versus USA. We lost that game. We
yeah.
rested a bunch of players because we were already in the championship game.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but
Oh, see,
obviously very
didn't
sick.
realize
It like,
that.
what'd you say?
I didn't realize they rested a bunch of players. I saw that they
Yeah.
took the L, and I was like, oh, that sucks. Like,
Well, Brady Kachuk and Matt Kachuk both didn't play. Um,
his name's not Makachuk, is it? It's
Matthew Kachuk and Brady Kachuk are the
oh
two.
yeah, yeah. That's what everyone
Um,
says Matthew.
so they are two like pretty much they're the heartbeat of our team. Those two brothers are. They're the guys that dropped the gloves off the bat of Canada, which I guess was like a pre-negotiated thing. Like they had our American captains obviously are friends with a lot of the Canadian captains, and it's something they had spoken about. Like fuck it, let's set the tone. They always say that in hockey. Let's set the tone. Set the
Dude,
tone. Someone's got to set the tone.
right. So one of the things that I think is so dope about hockey is that they are so like um as a unit, like the NHL as a unit is so down to help grow the sport that
Yeah.
It was like you said, it was pre-negotiated on both sides, and they knew that that was going to be a big draw of eyes to, especially with like all the political shit that's going on between the U.S. and Canada right now.
Right.
Like they knew that that was an opportunity for them to capitalize, getting as many eyes as possible. So they're like, yeah, fuck it. Like not only for like the betterment of like I don't know if you would say each individual country, but more so just like for hockey as a whole.
Yeah, no doubt. I
That's dope.
mean, it was unreal. There's obviously like a very big rivalry between these two teams, but you got to think about it even this way is that this was it. They called it the Four Nations and this and that, and I think it's the first year they've done it. I have no idea. I really don't. Like, I think it's the first year they've done this Four Nations format, but this is an all-star game.
Yeah.
The rest of the league is all on vacation elsewhere. And meanwhile, we got the best players from the best teams duking it out. It was playoff hockey. Like, you can tell when you watch a regular season game, don't get me wrong, there's fast-paced games and everything, everyone's flying around. But when it goes to playoffs, like if you watch the difference between the two, you can just tell people are it's going faster. It's a lot quicker. People are flying around. People are hitting a lot more. The hits are harder. The fights are harder. All that. And every second I watch this tournament, I'm like, fuck, this looks just like playoff hockey. These
It
guys are
was,
going
it was
balls to the fucking
intense.
walls.
Right.
So that's
So
exactly what that was. But the last thing I got to say was the championship game is the most watched hockey game in history, I believe. So like 11.6 million followers, or sorry, viewers, something like that.
I think I heard that too. I didn't, but I'm not gonna lie, 11.6 kind of seems low for like most of all time. So
Well, you got to think about it this way, like the Super Bowl, I don't know what it is, but an average Sunday game is like 12.
look up that viewership. I can test that. I can test that. But
The NFL.
no, no, the 11.6 for the champion.
Oh,
But anyway, like what else? Shit, there was something else that I was gonna say. Fuckity
it
fuck.
averaged 9.3 with 10.4 at its peak. It
Really?
is the most viewed. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, I was gonna say something along the lines of like, oh. So I think it's dope that like what you said. So I mean, all the All-Star games now are is all the best players sitting out, or like LeBron had just sat out of the NBA
Right.
All-Star game, and all these like in the Pro Bowl, it's flagged now, and like meanwhile, like the NHL is going at it like it's the old NFL Pro Bowl where you see Ed Reed coming down and taking that punter's
Yeah.
absolute fucking dome off. But I so if this is like a big so there's events in sports that significantly help like the sport for the future because
Right.
the younger generation sees that like one big event and then like, oh, I want to go try hockey. And then like it helps literally helps build up the sport for generations to come. And then, you know, if those youths end up making it to the league or whatever, then hockey becomes a better product. People make more money and stuff like that. So the short of what I'm getting at is this. I think that's dope. I love that they're doing that. I just don't think that it's going to last. Once like more money gets into the equation, like
Yeah.
it's inevitable that and like more money, more viewership, more everything. It's inevitable that it kind of becomes a little bit more relaxed and not as
Yeah.
physical
I think
because
there is something to hockey guys about like
right,
having that pride in the game.
that is
Like
true.
they have I mean the whole thing about this whole series was pride. Like
Right.
the NBA or the NHL's idea was like, yeah, what if we made this about pride? Like what if we had their fucking countries on their chest to make them go hard?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Money will always change anything, but there is something different about hockey guys. It's always going to be a little more on edge. So
Yeah.
and that was part of the reason exciting. And then in the moment, right after the game, well, I can't think of his name right now. Connor McDavid had the game-winning goal right wide open center ice. Awesome, Matthew. It was our best player is supposed to be on their best player, and our best player shit the bed. Um, so anyway, Connor McDavid scored, and in the moment, and right after the his post-game interview, they asked him about like what it meant to like grow the game. in this night. He said, or they said something along the lines. There's a lot of people watching hockey tonight that aren't hockey fans at all. But they checked in, they tuned in for this game, and he had like the wherewithal to say like, I hope they enjoyed it. This is what it's like. This is what the game's all about. It's we play for the fans. It's for the fans' enjoyment. This and that. He said a couple other things, but
Right.
in the moment, he thought about like how they are growing the game, and I think there's even text probably between the two captains, like you said about that fight. We're giving give the people what they want. Like we know damn well what the terms are right now. We know exactly what like the the scope of things are, I guess. There you
Mhm.
go. That's pretty good vocab
Yeah.
word. They knew the scope of things. They had the national attention, so they're gonna do all of it what they can. I mean, there was Wayne Gretzky was there. They had another Boston legend that I'm not familiar with, but
Bobby
Boston
Orr.
legend. They had Johnny Gardeau's family. I don't know if I pronounced his last name right.
God.
Um, all these national anthem things, all these media outlets talking about them, just everything that like kind of like culminated into this game, and the way for it to end, like in overtime, best player in the world scoring the game-winning goal. It was all like it seemed like it was scripted.
Dude, I didn't see. I didn't even realize all that. Like that they did like all the lead up to it and whatnot. Or I didn't. I also what I thought was most interesting about what you just said is McDavid, the interview at the end of the game. That's dope. That he like
Yeah.
legitimately addressed it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, that's how big of a deal it was. The Yeah, why can't like the analyst on ice analyst? Yeah, on
Yeah,
ice
sure.
analyst.
There you
Yeah,
go.
she was the one that like asked him about it, but all you get like that was what it made me aware that the players were aware. Like
Right.
they were on the ice completely aware that this is like the biggest moment in our sports history for us to like take advantage of. So that's why they're duking it out. That's why the hits were harder than ever, like all that
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
um
They're like
and then
forcing
you
it
could
time for generations to come. Literally.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
And you kept hearing it over and over again, um, that the players are saying this is the biggest game I've ever played in. This is the biggest game I've ever played in. They were
really.
saying that for the first USA versus Canada game, which was like a round robin game. Because wearing USA on your chest in hockey it means something in every sport, but hockey takes like a really great pride in that locker room.
Mhm.
Um, well, I can't think of like the brotherhood, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying this is the biggest game I ever played, and this is the biggest game I ever played. And there we Brady to Chuck, which was one of our best players in the entire tournament. Um, he plays for the Ottawa Senators, so it makes sense that he says that's the biggest game of his career because they've never made the playoffs since he's been there.
Hockey
Uh,
joke. Let's go.
yeah. So stuff like that, it really was like there was tears after the game. They were diving in, like saying what they needed from each other in the locker room, like going hard. So for a lot of them it was, and it might be the biggest game they ever play in because they don't know if they'll make the Olympic team next year. So that'd be cool because the Olympics are next year. So the All-Star break will be for the Olympics. Um,
Oh, really?
they do like a week or two break for the
Uh,
Olympics.
that's dope.
Um,
So I do
yeah.
like. I mean, I think I did understand some of the magnitude of the game. Like, I think I understood like the big portion, like a good portion of it, but like the added details that you just said, I didn't realize how monumental it is for the game and like for some like the magnitude of that game for some dudes that they're not going to play in a bigger game in their career. I didn't think about
Yeah.
that at all.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
think
mean, it's
about
the most viewed game in hockey history.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So, and like I said, a lot of them won't make the Olympic roster. Well, most of them will because it's pretty much what it is set. But you don't know. There gonna be three or four that slip out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then even yeah. So going back to McDavid's post game interview, he even said he goes, I know it's an all-star game, but he's like it's nothing. He's like it's just short of the Olympics. It's the greatest feeling in the world.
Damn, that's
Like he wear
crazy.
yeah wearing the he's like wearing the crest on your chest, something like that. Um, so yeah, it was cool seeing the biggest names in the sport react that way, like they were kids. So
Did you
yeah,
side note, did you see that guy that they brought on PMT Oldie?
dude, he's the best.
Oh my God, he's fucking he that guy is hilarious,
What a
dude.
beauty.
Everything
Yeah.
that comes out of his mouth is just, but it's like genuine. He's like has no choice but to be who he is, and it's oh my
What
God,
does he say? He says bumping checks, or what does he say? He says
bumping and
something
grinding,
bumping and grinding. I gotta start saying that. Bumping
like
and grinding.
bumping and grinding in the plow all week, man. And
Yeah, and then he's like, "You throw some Tillies? I'll go Tilly them right now."
Dude, I don't know what the fuck. I know it means a fight, but I don't know what the like
Yeah,
that fucking refers to. But
getting into
there,
Tilly.
you remember that kid that we met in Amsterdam, David?
Oh,
David.
the hockey kid. Or
They're
sorry,
just
the Canadian
Canadians.
kid.
Just Canadians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canadian kid. Yeah,
So I
yeah.
actually like worked with them literally like right after
Right.
I made like a program for them and I would check in with them regularly. And he kind of has that little bit of like Canadian kind of
Hockey.
like hockey degenerate Canadian in him.
Yeah.
Like so some of the shit, some of like the little one-liners that he says are just oh my God, bro, it's fucking great.
Yeah,
They're
Canadians are good at that shit. That's what they bring. So
yeah.
yeah, they found a good character there. They were saying to this morning or something like something to do with he's got a wife and kids, so we can't just bring him here. We can't just like
Oh, dude, you know what? You know what he said that killed me? He's the the PFT started asking Oldie a question, then Big Cat goes, "Oh, this is his show now," and
oh yeah.
then PFT goes, "What did you say to your boss to like get in here?" He's like, "Well, I'm having Cat and P on my show."
Yeah. I'm talking to him on my show, yeah.
And then
Yeah, he says, let me ask you a question. Shoot.
yeah, yeah, and then
He reminds me of Uncle Matt, honestly.
bro,
But
he was talking about the ice fishing story. I listened to him tell the ice fishing story like 15 times.
that shit was pretty funny.
There's a clip on Instagram, and you ever just
I had the
like
biggest
oh,
fish in yeah.
what?
Yeah, I had the biggest fish in North whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Ninnepuck Lake or something like that. Oh,
Yeah.
woohoo, I was trolling. Dude, yeah, he's comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God.
Speaking of degenerates too. Also, this day, I'm just gonna bring this up because this day in 1963, February 24th, the fifth Daytona 500, Tiny Lund driving for Woodsboro Racing wins on 4 pit stops. That's the first 10 laps run under caution flag because of rain. Only reason I bring that up is because I really want to go to a NASCAR race.
I want to so badly.
I want to get absolutely just obliterated drunk with having drank at least 17 Bud Lights
Dude,
and just
just getting absolutely
stumble.
hammered in the sun. Yeah. I
Yes.
know a couple of friends that went to Daytona this year. The same guy won it. I don't know his name, but
Yeah, so I saw some I don't know anything about the actual results of it, but I did see some dudes like uh Bo Kitson and all his buddies went. Dude, he's got the funniest group of fucking boys. And Bo is hilarious, dude. They all dressed up like just they all had
yeah.
handlebar mustaches and
Yeah.
oh God, I was like, dude, give me that energy. Inject that shit
All
into
right, William Byron. This is second win in the Cup Series.
Oh, you said Billy Byron? You say?
Billy Byron.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And Billy Byron won it last year as well, I believe.
Billy's been on a tear. I'll tell you what. He knows
Um,
you can really put the pedal to the metal.
let's go racing, boys. I was just about to look up something.
What's our next topic, mate? Let's keep it rolling.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna do college lacrosse rankings really quickly.
College lax. All right,
Um,
I got the rank.
Syracuse, we started like number two or number three or like number six or number seven. Started top seven for sure.
Mm.
And per Syracuse's normal, we fucking blow the fucking brakes off of three shit teams. And then the second we play someone good, we lose.
I
Um,
will refrain from saying we when it comes to Syracuse lacrosse because I'm not a rider. I really am
I'm
not.
a rider for Syracuse lacrosse.
I do if there is a team in college lacrosse, it is for me. It is definitely Syracuse. But I did see that. Do you remember Conrad Joyle? Conrad,
No.
friends with Koopy, tall bald
Oh,
guy.
Conrad. Yeah, tall bald kid.
Yeah. So his brother Carlin,
Yeah, he's
coaches
sick, right?
for Harvard.
I know.
And
Oh, really? I know he played at Merrimack. Yeah.
yeah, so he played at Merrimack, and then I think he coached at Lindenwood.
Oh shit, and they're only a team for like 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he coached Danny Carolyn.
Yeah, there's another kid in there. Jackson Boop went there as well from Boulder Creek.
Right, 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 right. Yeah. So, and then I think he's the DC at Harvard,
They just beat Syracuse.
and they just beat Syracuse.
Yeah. I
So
mean, they were ranked number 20, but they're gonna hop up to top 15.
I know I just saw their rankings. Yeah, I think they are 15,
Yep.
which is
So yeah,
shout out the boys. That's dope.
shout out to Boise. So yeah, following Syracuse, they beat the shit out of Jacksonville, Vermont, and Towson, and then they had 11-7 loss to Maryland. That was at Maryland, so that wasn't a terrible loss, 4 point loss on the road. And then they lost to Harvard 14-15 at home after starting the game like 4-0 or something like that.
Wait, I just saw that Syracuse was 3-1. Is that wrong?
Yeah, and that was maybe last year. Maybe you just didn't have the Harvard game on there.
Ah,
Um, but we
well,
have a really tough schedule this year. We always have a tough schedule in the ACC. Syracuse does. We play our next game at Utah, which will pretty tough because Utah's starting to get a lot of those West Coast recruits, and they're going to start picking it up. And then we followed up with Johns Hopkins, who is very, very good this year. Manhattan's terrible. Colgate's terrible. Virginia's very good. Notre Dame is back-to-back national champions. Cornell, Duke, and UNC. So Syracuse is a tough rip to the end of the year. Um, I don't like the way that that's shaping up, unfortunately. But Notre Dame is back on top. They're 3-0. They do have a tough schedule too, so we'll start seeing them kind of get battle tested. But they're back-to-back national champions for a reason. They get all the best recruits, they get all the best transfers. Then it's Maryland, who always has a chance. Um, Cornell. I'm surprised UNC is at number 4. Um, they jumped up very quickly because they were kind of doubted at the beginning of the year. They did not have a good year last year, but they just have this goalie that's been a freak as of recent. So, and then they have one of the best offenses in the country. They always do, but their defense normally kind of struggles.
I don't know, man.
Army, number 5. If you're ever gonna ride an American team to win the national championship, it's this Army lacrosse team.
All right,
They're
so
fucking sick. They're so nasty. That is one kid that could be the best player in any team in the country. Um, they beat the living hell out of Yale. They beat them 3-14.
oh,
Beat the shit out of Yale.
okay. How's
So
Baylor?
yeah, and they got a couple tough ones on their schedule. BU is finally good. Boston University is finally ranked.
There you go.
Um, they should
I
get
could, I could ride for BU. I'm
they
not.
should have a very easy time getting recruits. So
Should.
it's good to see that they're good.
Yeah.
Um, then they play UNC and then Navy and Loyola on their schedule. So Army has a relatively easy schedule that could
What
help
ranking?
them
What rankings are you looking at right now?
inside lacrosse.
Okay, so this one says last updated February 17, 2025, Inside Lacrosse, but it's on ESPN.
Mine's just on the inside lacrosse website and it's updated as of yesterday.
All right.
Um, Duke is 4-0 at number 7. Uh, they just have a really young team. They lost that Brendan O'Neill kid.
Right.
So they're still really good. They just aren't as good as they were. Princeton's up there. Penn State's starting to do well again. Georgetown's good. Syracuse, Harvard, Penn, Richmond, Denver, Colgate, number 16. Look at that. Colgate's pretty sneaky good.
Hmm.
Um, 15 for Denver might be the lowest they've been ranked in a long time. Ohio State, Fairfield up there, then Virginia and BU at number 20. Um, BU has gone up 24 spots this season, so they started at ranked number 44 in D1 and they're now number 20. So they
This
are
Inside Lacrosse website is kind of janky.
inside the cross. It looks good on your on the phone.
Does it?
Yeah.
They need to. It's just kind of a little bit all over the place.
But Virginia has been generationally a top like 10 team the past like decade.
Hmm.
And they have all the best recruits on offense. They have like the number 1 recruit from the past few years, and Not doing so well. But that's my college cross catch up. We will catch up later in like April when it actually starts to matter and we start getting to tournament time. That's when college cross gets fun. Just as college basketball is picking up in March. All I know from college basketball is that UConn has lost its last two matchups against St. John's. And they haven't been close.
I
So
am following college hoops, but I this is around the time that I'm shifting gears a little bit, starting to shift gears a little bit into getting. Only thing I really know is that I see Cooper flag 24/7, and I'm like,
yeah,
and he's a freak, dude.
he's good. His effort is there too, which I like.
But I was also, yeah, it's true. So, um, they played Illinois, I think, the other night, and there's a freshman on Illinois that has almost the same stats as him,
Hmm.
and he's a big bastard too. I can't hold on one second, see if I can find this motherfucker.
All right, I'll talk hoops. UConn is 18-9, and they have a chance to not make the tournament after repeating as national champions. Um,
That sucks.
that would suck.
That would- that would suck.
We're not ranked. We haven't been ranked in like 4 weeks, something like that.
Hmm.
Um,
Here's the
after our first loss to St. John's, we got knocked out of the rankings, but then we went on to beat Creighton at a 1 point
hold
overtime
on.
loss to Seton Hall.
This guy
Yeah.
from Illinois, Kasparis Jakochonis. It's
Oh
from
yeah.
Lithuania, motherfucker. Listen to his stats though. He just fills the stat line. 15.5 points per game, 5.6 rebounds per game, 4.8 assists per game, shoots 46.6% from the field. Yeah, he just fills it. And he's 6'6", so he's not like a he's 6'6", 200. He's a big dude. He's a stout motherfucker.
Right. He fills
Uh,
it up.
hold on. Okay, Cooper Flag stats 19.5 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game,
Yeah.
4 assists per game, 48.6% from. He's a freak. Never mind. It's
Um,
more spread
trying
apart.
to find UConn like good wins this year, dude. Like
They've
we we lost to Memphis, lost to Colorado. Pod got the brakes beaten out of us by Dayton.
Yeah, Dayton, and I think they lost to DePaul too. Like some not such great teams.
Obviously, I think we beat DePaul twice.
I don't think so, dude. I'm telling you. I think there's a DePaul L in there somewhere.
DePaul 81-68 and the DePaul 72-61. Because but we have a win over Baylor. We have a win over Texas. We have a big win over Gonzaga. We have a win over Xavier and Butler. But then we later lose to Villanova and Creighton. We lost to Villanova and Creighton, but we avenged both those. We're 1-1 with Villanova, Creighton, and Xavier. But then we're 0-2 against St. John's.
I mean, you say big win against Gonzaga. They're not ranked this year. That's
No, they were early. Like when we beat them, they were ranked higher than us. But
Texas not ranked.
yeah.
Who else did you say?
So we need to beat. So our remaining games are we have Georgetown, Providence, Marquette, and Seton Hall. We need to beat Seton Hall, that's for sure, and then we need to beat Marquette. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know how much it weighs. I don't know what it goes into it, but as long as we make the Big East tournament and we at least make it to the finals in the Big East tournament,
hmm,
um, it'll give us a good shot at getting in because they're gonna try and put in the two-time national champions
yeah, I would say
in the
so.
back to back.
I'd say
So
we'll see. I don't know how many games are there in the full season.
8 plus is it 21, 28, 31.
Quick math. You sure about that?
I just did. It says November 8 games, December 5, January 8, February 7, March 3.
All right. That's it says, oh, men's college basketball teams typically play between 25 to 35 games per season.
Okay, so UConn has 31, and then that means whatever amount of Big East tournament games before the big dance.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's
all I
men's
know,
basketball. We know a lot about it. So
we know a lot about ball.
we know a lot. We just know everything when it comes to ball. I mean, ask me about women's college softball. They're not playing right now. Boom, got it. Let's go.
Nice. Paige Beckers. That's all I got.
Good.
You got anything for women's? Angel Reese isn't playing in college anymore.
No, I have nothing for women. Not one bit. Let's see. All right. NC State. Oh, yep. Here we go. NC State big dub over Notre Dame, 104 to 90.
Oh yeah.
NC State or Notre Dame is the number one ranked team in the country.
I
Probably
was
no.
watching part of that game at a bar with Chad. I just didn't finish it because fucking who cares?
Dude. Well, hold on. I do think women's college or women's basketball in general is a little bit of a spike right now, like compared to past at least. But
Yeah.
one thing that I do find interesting from this is that it always seems like every year there's an undefeated team at the top in women's college basketball. Notre Dame has three losses and they're the number one team in the nation, and they just lost
Nice.
again, so they're probably not going to be.
Yeah.
So that's something for you. How about that?
That's cool.
Hey, how about
That's
that?
cool. No one's
Hey, how about
invincible
that?
this year.
How about that? Huh?
All right, I'll do my Formula One uh catch up really quickly. There's nothing to catch up on. It
Nice.
is starting soon. Um the testing is next weekend, so they finally get to get their cars out on the track and let everyone see it.
Hmm.
They pretty much just to where you'll see like they put green paint in their cars, just try and see where they're not so aerodynamic. It's just uh a show off session. It's nothing to do with actually racing or anything, but it's still cool for the F1 nerds and me. Then the round one will be in Australia as it always is. Actually, I'm sorry. Round one will be not back in Australia as it always was. The Saudis bought that from us, from the F1 fans a while back. So it was kind of upsetting because there weren't getting much fans there. Like Australia is um, one of the best courses or one of the best tracks for fans. It's
Hmm.
right in Melbourne. My favorite racers from Melbourne. Like it has all like these like
Hold on.
historical things. Huh?
Melbourne? I just
Melbourne. They
uh,
say Melbourne.
yeah, well, I mean the Aussies, they say Melbourne. Melbourne.
Melbourne. Anyway, so Oscar Piastri's from Melbourne.
What?
Melbourne. Uh, Albert Park is where they race. So, race one being back there is gonna be sick. Um, and then they go back to China this year. China. So that's back to back weekends. The first we got four race weekends in a row. Wow, holy shit. Five race weekends in a row. They need to relax. They're gonna kill these guys. Um, yeah, so it goes Australia, China, Japan, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. Back to back to back to back to back, and then they're back in America for Miami. So it's exciting. It's coming up. This is the last year. Yeah, you're gonna pass out, dude. Are you shitting your
No,
pants?
that's me getting fucking fired up for F1.
Jacked up for it.
Yeah,
Boy, Yuki Tsunoda back on the sticks.
yeah, Yuki.
Uh, yeah. So I was about to say something, and then you almost shit your pants on the live
Hold on,
television.
hold on. So Yuki, dude, should I
Do
should
you
I
want to win or do you want to have fun?
dude it, should I jump ship from Yuki? I think I need a little. He hasn't
Okay,
given
so
me.
in F1, there's only like you can only drink and celebrate if you have a winner. If you
Yeah,
have a guy that just has fun, you can always like laugh when you watch him, be like this fucking idiot. But like you're not gonna win much with that guy.
I don't know. I'm stuck. I'm stuck between a rock and a
So
hard.
there's a new Kiwi. There's a guy from New Zealand that is Max Verstappen's teammate.
Mm,
Uh Max Verstappen's teammate is a bad spot to be.
mm,
So I like him a lot, but he's not going to win much considering he's Max Verstappen's teammate. Lewis Hamilton just hopped over to Ferrari. People hate him because he's black. No. People hate him because he's a winner and he's kind of like a he's kind of a diva. So
Okay. Okay.
I like Lewis Hamilton being on Ferrari, but I like his teammate more than him, Charles
I
Leclerc.
I am like I think I liked Lewis Hamilton. He was one of the only few guys like before F1 really started picking up the past few
Right,
years that like anyone ever knew about. And he
right.
looked swaggy with the braids. I was like, oh, that guy's got a
Yeah,
little swag to him, so that's cool. And he just never stopped winning, and that was the only reason that you knew about him.
right. Because he just like I remember I have a Guinness World Records book in my room right now, and I remember seeing him in those things. Um,
But I don't know if I'm sold on him. You said the diva thing. I'm not a diva guy. That's why
You
I'm
know, he used to when
on.
he was when he was riding high when he's at his best, he was constantly getting in trouble. Like he was constantly this is the part that I liked about him is he was and that this is why Max is the best in the world now. He was constantly doing shit that other people wouldn't do because they're supposed to get in trouble for it, but there's like this gray area of rules.
Right.
He'd ride in that gray area and be like I'm gonna make them give me a penalty, opposed to like I know this is a penalty. Like I'm gonna make them make that call. Like you're gonna have all these fans mad at you. You're gonna have all this pressure. I'm gonna put in the pressure on you, and I'm gonna do this thing that's next to suicide, pretty much. So I liked him for that. When he was younger, he was ballsier and he was doing a lot of that. He hasn't been since he lost to Max. He's kind of I don't know if the gusto's out, like the wind's out of his sails or what, but he hasn't necessarily been doing all that sketchy shit that he used to.
Mm.
Now it's kind of left for Max. And then Lando, who's one of my favorite racers for McLaren, is that he's in that fine spot where he's racing against Max. He has to do sketchy shit to get past him, but he doesn't because he's a spoiled English rich cocksucker who just doesn't have the same balls that Max has 'cause Max grew up with his dad beating the shit out of him, and that's what makes him gritty. So
Would
I
you
don't,
question
yeah.
for you. So if you saw Lando Norris, would you say that to his face?
I call him a pussy.
Mm. Like
Honestly, like
no,
I
no,
might.
because
He's a
I
bitch.
think your words were spoiled English little rich cocksucker. Would you say that to
I don't know if I'd say those words. I might call him a bitch though. Like he
him?
is. He's a bitch, dude.
But that's the thing is like you like him, isn't he your dog?
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, he's my favorite team's best racer.
right.
But I like Oscar more than him.
So here's my thing. Just meeting the guy first time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes a little bit. Like I will call you a little prick cocksucker, you know. So
Right.
I would hold off. I'd pump the brakes on that if you
But
want to
what if it
get.
got him motivated? Be like, you're right. I'm a little British cocksucker.
I just think the good.
He's not going to win a championship that way.
Okay. Well, hey,
Yeah.
man. If you're trying to make him great, then I respect that. I respect
He
that.
might like me after he wins the championship.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know if he would attribute you calling him a cocksucker to him winning a championship, but
He
I would.
should. But then meanwhile, there's Oscar who's like the polar opposite. Like Lando's this fucking kind of like this feminine fucking. He really is. Like he bothers me a little bit, right? And then there's meanwhile Oscar's like super stoic. Um, whenever whenever there's close calls that happen on the track, the drivers normally come over the radio and tell their engineer to report it to like try and get the other racer in trouble so they can pass them.
Max.
And it happens, yeah. So Lando does it 100 times. Max does it 1,000 times in race because these guys are so like rule smart and technically smart that they're always asking people to get in trouble. That's why a lot of people don't like Lewis because he's always doing it. He'll say it super calmly, like, "Oh, he just did this on turn three and da 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 da. That's dangerous," something like that. Like Lewis is the fag, and Oscar just stays dead silent. Like someone could have just ran right into the side of his car and tried to kill him, and then the engineer would come over the radio and be like, Oscar, did you think that was a little fair?" And he'll like won't respond for 2 minutes, and then later he'll be like, "Yes," and that's all he says. Like he's just like Terminator. Like he just has like this. He has that championship mentality that like people are gonna try and fuck me over, and I don't care because I'll do it right back.
Dude, you just sold me on Piastri. That's all I needed.
Yeah, Piastri's a dog. Piastri's like this just like soft spoken, just like will run you off the track kind of guy. That and then afterwards if they like talk to him about it, he'll be like, I don't know. Like it just there's a gap there. Like he won't apologize, he won't laugh. He's just like this like stoic dude.
He's
So
the Khabib of F1,
yeah. Yeah.
essentially.
I'm trying to think of who else might be even involved in trying to win a championship. It's just McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull right now. So from those teams, I like. I mean, I have trouble not putting Lando in my top two, but really, if I had people to win it, I'd rather it be Oscar one, and then Charles Leclerc two, and then maybe Lewis Hamilton three because it'd be really cool to see him win an eighth.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like Leclerc and Piastri. They're definitely two of my favorite drivers. Um, that's enough F1. It'll be happening in weeks to come. I have done my Four Nations College Cross and F1. Do you have more NBA?
We'll go through NBA real quick. What I forgot that we skipped over is we haven't really talked much as of recently. What have you been up to in life?
All right, one sec. Okay. So, still do this new job. Re-signed my lease to this apartment because moving is a pain in the ass. So now we're
Ah,
just trying to stack bread to do something crazy in a year's time. I've been really on this wave of trying to buy land near the water.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And whether it be by the water here or like by a lake somewhere. And
Uh,
I'm really weighing my options here. It's like, what would be better? Would it be better to have like a house near a beach in like a cool town where we can go and like we just have to do like a short drive to the beach, like no more than 15 minutes, which seems nice, or try and buy a house on a random lake that might be like in Mississippi or Arkansas or something. Those ones seem a little hard to get to. So that one's what throws me off there. I've been really on this buying land thing because land, like, there's still some places where land is still relatively cheap and it's doable.
mhm.
Um, because like say like there's some plots of land or like say a $10,000 plot of land, not very common, but there are some, and that's $2,500 down, and then your payment's like a couple $100. That's just like adding like maybe a car payment to your thing.
Right.
Uh, And then you do with that land as you will as what you would. So like a lot of them already have access to sewers and electric, but then having the hookup is like another couple grand, and
I'm
then putting the
curious.
foundation and this and
I'm
that.
curious what like so if you're gonna if you're gonna buy a house, right? Like obviously you buy a 200 grand house, 225 grand house,
Right.
you finance the mortgage or whatever. So your mortgage is, whatever, 1,800 bucks a month, whatever. I'm curious if you can like finance like what things you're able to finance versus what things that you're not able to finance. Like plumbing jobs or like
Right.
electric jobs, like when it
Yeah,
comes to
because I can finance whatever house I put on top of it.
right.
Like like whatever structure I choose to go with.
Have you, so what
But
have you been like looking at? Like, are you actually thinking about legitimately building the spot or
yes, it's just that it's probably the cheapest way to do so is buy the land and build it. So I don't know, like the buying the land is has to do mostly with like the location of how close it is to the beach, and then avoiding HOA
mm,
because if you buy a place that's in HOA territory, they determine what kind of house you can build, and more often than not, you have to build a mansion.
mm,
So I just dropped that thing. So like I can't afford to build a mansion, obviously, so I don't want to buy the houses like the houses that have HOAs in some country club that's right on the water. There's a lot of those that are very cheap. Like I can buy like a $35,000 plot of land inside of like a country club right on the water. But then I can't build a mansion, so I have to build it like a little bit outside that country club, same kind of area, and then uh hopefully we get the loan to I'll clear all clear out the land as much as I can by my own self, not to like avoid labor costs, and then choosing what structure. I've gone through like a million things in my head. Get the manufactured homes. You get those barnadiums. I don't know how people pronounce it.
Oh,
Uh, those metal sheds that they build wood frame inside of, and they turn into these beautiful homes.
barn dominium.
Barndominium. There's some very pretty ones of those,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
it's an easy way to get like a couple bedrooms and a living room. And then I've seen, I like the shipping container style homes. They're stable. Uh, just a couple of options I've gone through. Um, I can't think of the name. Boxable. Boxable is not in North Carolina, or else I would go with them.
Hmm.
Uh,
So then you probably have to like, but you gotta hire contractors and stuff like that too, like builders and
right, right.
like
There's a lot of it. It's yeah, it's a lot, but um, I mean, especially getting gas and electric hooked up. Uh, and then if I want to, I don't, you don't necessarily need to have a concrete slab foundation, I guess, because you can just have your house on stilts. But then getting it on stilts, you have to like obviously have a professional do that. So all that passes through my head. I just think it's fun to think about. I do want to buy a house first, but if I can get my job transferred to somewhere on the coast, then I would just live in an apartment on the coast and then buy the land and then spend a year in an apartment while I develop that to live on it.
you have an idea of like budget wise, like what you're trying to spend.
No, not yet. Not really. Not really. Because I only have that in my house, my idea for what I want to spend on a house. Um,
What's that?
that would be like $12,000 out of pocket on closing. So I could do that and still have some money left over. But if I, like I had just said, if I go with the latter plan, like, it depends on if I get a house or not, what I'm able to do with the land. So if I buy a house, I probably will not be buying land for a good amount of time. If I do not buy a house and then I am able to get the transfer that I wish to go closer to the water, then I'll transfer closer to the water and I'll buy land and I'll have that land, like I'll be paying that land off while living in an apartment and developing it. So hopefully, say that it goes over so freaking smooth and I get land in this coming December. Or I get a job transfer, sorry, in December. I
Mhm.
move down to Wilmington, North Carolina, and then I'm living in an apartment. I find land that I like. I buy that in January or March, and then by the following winter, I have that ready to actually be lived on.
Okay.
So this is like it's a long year plan. The land, if you buy land, it's obviously longer. It takes longer for everything to develop. Um, that's just things that go in my head. I'm really into it right now.
Mhm.
Really into jotting down my weekly calendar because I haven't been waking up. I suck at waking up now, so I'm gonna get rid of that bad habit.
Mhm.
Um, Getting back into editing the podcast. Hey, tax season. All you listeners, do your fucking taxes, you scumbags,
I'm
scallywags.
Auntie Lord, my return back to me. I sent her everything, so
You already did it? Yeah, see, I know everyone I've talked to has already done it. I haven't done jack for it, so I need to do
I'm
that.
kind of needing it right now.
No
So
doubt.
she fucking gets back to
I'm
me.
curious to see what happens. Bought a blender yesterday. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
I got banana bread at fucking work, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
blended, bro.
that is my catch up. It's been warmer. It's been getting warmer here. It snowed again, but then it's been getting warmer. Um, I think when mom, dad, Anna, and Matt are coming down, it'll be like high
I'll be there
50s.
too.
Huh?
I'll be there too.
You are? Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It'll be like high 50s, but like it'll be cloudy, so it's not gonna be extremely nice. But that's the 2 week forecast, so who knows how accurate that is.
Would you say it'll be what? I'm sorry, I totally missed that.
High 50s and a little cloudy.
I hope it's just sunny as all fuck, dude.
Yeah, like that's the 2 week forecast, so hopefully it changes. Like today, right now it's 52 about. It's supposed to get to 61. It's sunny. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
So it's been getting the spring is springing here, hopefully. I need a haircut. That's what I got for my catch up. What's yours?
Um, grinding, 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 grinding,
Bumping and grinding.
bumping and grinding. Absolutely. This, dude, trials and tribulations, struggle. It's been a little bit of a struggle recently, but honestly, I think it's just because, well, some of it has to do with like me having like high expectations for myself and like thinking I'd probably be further along at this point. Um, but the other part of it is just that like when like you're building a business, like there's a bunch of expenses that go into it, and like you're not making a ton of money off the bat. So like I had a good amount of money saved up. So I have been essentially like with my bills and whatnot, I have been so what's been happening is like I've been spending more than I've been making as of recently,
Yeah.
but like I've had increased my spend a little bit more. So it's like each month I'm kind of like chipping away at my savings just a little bit, just a
Yeah.
little bit. And so essentially what I'm trying to do is, you try to cut down your expenses a little bit more and, increase your income so that I am in like hot pursuit of like that break even point. And that's really what like my grind has been recently. Um, but there's so much that goes with that. Finding a good flow of continuing to post regularly, uh, managing like the self doubt periods where it's like, um, am I doing everything that I should be, or like trying not to overthink, uh, and then but also like continually like helping my clients and like um, just expanding, and then also like we've been building the camp too, and like
Right.
stuff with that has really picked up a lot. So as of recently, I've had 5 Zoom calls with 5 different coaches. Jay and I have been hopping on Zoom calls with the coaches to kind of lay the plans out, and then set up like a follow-up call with all the coaches together so that we're all on the same page. Do a marketing rollout for the whole thing, and we have um, plans in place for June 21st. It may
Pushed
potentially
it back a
be
little bit.
what?
Pushed it back a little bit.
Yes, pushed it back just a little bit. Um, because the days that we were looking for originally were not available, essentially. Or, what it really was is that kids were still going to be in school at that point, which was kind of weird
Oh
because
yeah.
like the school calendar that we looked up was not accurate online. Um, so, you
Makes
don't
sense.
want
We're cool till like May 27th.
what's up?
That makes sense because we used to be in school until the very end of May. Like May 27th was our last day sometimes.
Yeah, so they're just like another month out or so, like right around there,
Nice.
a little bit less than that, I guess, a couple weeks, I'd say. So, just putting plans together for that, and it's really been coming together, and like I've been super excited about it. And as like as we've built it up, and as we've gotten more coaches on board, more people have taken interest in it, which is kind of an interesting thing. So like I reached out to Connor Dunn, he's the offensive coordinator at Western New England now, and he said him, Coach LeBeau, and the defensive coordinator would all be interested in helping. So that's that's huge, to
Right, that's
actually.
a big step. Yeah, you can add the logo onto the thing. Say you got college coaches coming.
Yeah, but I got to talk to them about that. Like if we're actually allowed to advertise for that, or because there's like NCAA regulations, but also like for them, like I got to make sure that like they're comfortable with us doing that. Because like
Right.
if we're turning a profit off of it, like we're profiting off the Western New England name. There's something weird there that I don't want to get into any like weird situations.
That
Um,
is strange. I just remember growing up at camps and being like, this coach coming, this or they have representatives from this, and that school.
Yeah, yeah. But like the thing is, dude, like I don't we want to do this the right way because I don't want it to just be a cash grab camp because you talk to so many coaches and a lot of coaches have experience in this stuff and they're like, well, listen, we are very familiar with different types of camps and there are camps that pop up all the time that are just like they're cash grabs. And the way that we pitched it to all the coaches is that, listen, we see longevity in this, but we also see like a big value for players to take their games to the next level because what we're going to be doing now is after talking to some of the coaches, we wanted to do an education session at the end to teach kids how to properly go about the recruiting process. But I think we're actually going to do it at the beginning now and have all the players and their parents do like not like a classroom type thing, but maybe
Yeah.
in an auditorium or something, like quick 30-45 minute presentation, bang all that out, let them know here's how you should go about camps, recruiting process, all those different things, then go straight into a dynamic warm up and onto the field. So like the more coaches that you talk to, the other thing too is that like talking to these coaches, I think we've been super transparent in the fact that like this is the first camp that we're doing, so we want to get as many great minds together as possible to collaborate on what is going to provide the most value to players and to them though too and to those coaches because these coaches, like many of them, the majority of them have their own businesses. So
Yeah.
we want to provide value for the players, but also for these coaches so that they can, make some money off of this and continue to do what they're doing because what's so important at the youth sports level is having good coaches. And having good coaches is a very hard thing when people are just volunteering their time and not making any money
Right.
for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think like a big long-term vision is using this camp as a stepping stone toward um, your other camps that you're going to go to, you know, a big jump in the right direction for the recruiting process, and also hopefully long term paying good coaches, like like an extra little bit of money here, an extra little bit of money there, so that they can continue to be coaches.
Yeah, I mean, incentivize people to have actually better perform. I don't want to say better performance, but actually like want to get out there and have better sort of coaches.
Well,
I mean, you want to surround these kids with people that also want to invest into them.
yeah.
So
So here's the other thing too, is that think about this, like all the GAs and all the low level like Division 3 coaches, dude, they don't make shit for money.
yeah, they make jack
So
shit. Yeah.
we can provide them with another outlet to make a little bit of money, make a little bit of extra money throughout the summer. Hey, go coach this camp. Like we'll pay you X amount of money, and then there's going to be like an incentive structure. It's like, all right, hey, we'll pay you $100 to get to this camp, and then uh, you get 5 kids to sign up under your name. You get another $100.
Right.
So um, and I pitched that to one guy, and he's like, "That kind of seems like a cash grab." But I was like, "I don't think that's not necessarily what it's going to be. Like, it's a way to promote it, but you may think it's a cash grab, but the amount of value that we're going to provide is going to be far beyond that because there's going to be full media for all these kids getting, clips, videos of them that they can put out and use as um, marketing for their brand and stuff like that. And then the whole education session beforehand, and then we'll do like a 7-on-7 compete stuff,
Right.
and so there's a lot. There's so much. There's so much, but
Yeah, I can see how people might think that way because like coaches might not care about the quality of kid they're bringing. They might just bring some kid that's sick, that stinks. At the same time, that's that kid's decision that he wants to go to college and he still probably can. So
yeah, but I think like there's a way to regulate that in a sense. Like the type of guys that you're bringing on as coaches. It's like
yeah.
we have at this point we've gotten to a point where it's like okay we have so many coaches that we think are interested that we're kind of whittling down to make sure that we have a good core group of dudes that all share the same vision of we want to do this the right way and we want to bring the right guys players that we feel can benefit from something like this. If there's a guy that's a super talented, high level player, I don't think he should probably be going to the camp. Like
Yeah.
I think it's like a tweener. This at least this first camp is like a tweener type deal. Or if it's your first camp, it's your first camp, and then you could take that momentum, realize what a camp is like, and then take that into other camps to be prepared for them.
Right. Yeah, like when they go to like the prospect days, this and
Yeah.
that, I'll give them something to like actually learn from, a tool to use,
Yeah.
like, step up on everybody else.
Yeah, 'cause there's going to be so the education session is going to be everything from recruiting, but also all the different camps you should go to and how to strategically go to these camps, which camps you should be going to at which age, how to reach out to coaches beforehand, let them know that you're going to be there, shake hands with the coaches there, follow up with them afterwards, and then like the types of camps that you should be going at depending on what grade you're in school. So like when you're younger, you should go to those big showcase style camps to see what the talent pool is out there. Like go get a dose of reality. And then as you get a little bit older, you want to dial down on the camps that you're going to for that are more targeted towards specific schools that might be more interest or more at your talent level. So
Right, right. More in your speed, yeah, more in your range, more realistic.
yeah. But dude,
Yep.
we've been putting plans together for this thing for months now, so I'm really like dialed in on it. And Jay and I have a really good plan, and we have a bunch of good guys bought in, and it's all about like the marketing rollout and drawing a ton of eyes to it, which is the next step. I'm working on a ton of that stuff this week.
Yeah, and then making the thing where like everyone's looking forward to go to the trademark camp next year, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's actually what we're going to be doing is calling it the Ascension Elite Football Camp. Um,
Sounds cool.
it's just a yeah, it's just an eye-catching name, Ascension Elite Football Camp. And I think Jay and I both wanted to um, share it because
Yeah,
originally like the football camps were completely my idea from the start. So
yeah,
I almost thought to myself like, hey, let me take this. Like you had the college game day thing. But I think what we'll end up doing is rebranding the college game day too, because it used to be NP College Game Day, which is like Namfita Productions College Game Day.
right.
I think we're gonna end up rebranding that and kind of collaborating on that too. Which I'm stoked for. I can't wait for football season to come back around because
Yeah, that'll be better for that. I wonder how all of this stuff will probably slow down a little bit because people are in season, right?
what stuff.
All like the mentoring and like helping kids get recruited, that slows down during the season, then speeds right back after the season. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yep. So I think it will. That's what I'm trying to kind of plan for. It'll be interesting because it's my first go around. Uh, this upcoming season will be my first go around of like
Yeah.
you know. But I still think that like mid season kids should be like exploring recruiting options.
Right, you pick up, yeah, you see one kid pick up an offer mid-season, and then it all kind of just starts to fall down like dominoes. So,
Yeah, yeah. So I think I'll see a little bit of a drop off during the season, but that's why you continue to work on a bunch of different things and keep yourself busy uh, all year round. So sustainability, man, that's what I'm trying to build. That's what I'm trying to build, and more than anything, dude, like uh, the amount of connections that I've made through it's crazy. Uh, all of a sudden, I'm talking to all these like prep school coaches and
right.
like college coaches and didn't really I don't know if I really ever like foresaw that, but that's dope. Like I fucking love that shit, dude. And I am I'm really helping out a lot. My buddy Johnny is doing that Sunday school stuff, which you
Mhm.
see me post about, and I
Yeah.
really have a lot of hope to help him boost that up too. And I think there will be some kind of residual benefit for me for it too. But I don't. It's not the way that I've seen. Um, it's not the way
You
that I've
just
done
see
it.
it playing out that way, or what?
What?
You didn't exactly seen it playing out that way to start, or what?
Because he came up with this idea fully like all by himself, And at the
Right.
same time, I was working on my own camps and stuff like that. It's just that like our paths kind of very much aligned. And so like I'm putting a good amount of effort into helping him out. I think, like I said, I think I'll see some residual benefits from it, but more than anything, he's a good dude that really wants football in this area to thrive.
Right.
And I think I can be an asset to help that stuff out, especially being like a third party perspective, because everyone in this community is so intertwined in all the politics and happening. I'm not. So I would just be like an outsider's perspective of here's what in my mind is the best without having all these other relationships developed that could be like kind of like ulterior motives for people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like ulterior motives meaning like, some guys like,
Money.
yes, like I want to continue to, raise money for this program because I run this program. I'm like, well,
Right.
what if we raise money for everyone and we divvy it out equally, essentially?
Yeah. I
Perspective.
see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. So bumping and grinding,
Bumping and grinding, eh?
bumping and grinding, bumping
Bumping
and.
and grinding with the boys, eh?
But I am at the so I think I still have not bitten down on getting like a part-time job or something like that because I really want to make this thing work. And
Right.
and I will. And so I've actually like, explored different options. So here's where I'm at right now. Like I've done well to the point where I'm like, if I can make like around another $1,000 a month, I will be at that break even point.
Right.
So like I'm trying to find something that um will allow me to kind of supplement the extra money that I need right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of gigs you can get that 1,000 from. I'm just trying to think what's like the easiest or the least time consuming.
Yes, see that's the battle that I'm fighting. It's like and it's like I would like it to be something that I can create my own schedule. But
Right.
it's not that easy. So what I've thought of as of recently is potentially trying to do something at the YMCA where like I host workouts in the mornings for football players.
Yeah.
Um, and I called the director of the Y to talk to him about it. But he hasn't gotten back to me about it yet. So because that that and I have a decent relationship with him now to the point where I'm like I would tell him straight up like hey like I think you're kind of familiar, we've talked about it before, I've started my own business and like being completely transparent with you, I'm trying to find a break even point and that break even point is going to be around that $1,000, so I'm trying to make that up for myself so that I can break even and live. I think that I can do that with you guys, but I can also draw a different crowd of people into the YMCA that you guys don't normally get by hosting these, 5:45 in the morning workouts for football players. Um, but
How many kids do you think would come to a 5:45 a.m. workout before school?
yeah, I know, but like that's the thing is like you got to market to the football teams in the area and be like, hey, dude, like this is what it fucking takes, And I don't even think, dude. So one other thing is that like how football teams have off-season workouts.
Yeah.
The head football coach around here announced that he was stepping down, and but he has ulterior motives of like he is stepping down in hopes that the program this is fucked up. He is stepping down in hopes that the program at Pittsfield like almost like whittles away to the point where they have to combine with one of the other local high schools
Hmm.
because he thinks that then combining the teams for the two high schools, he'll have more talent to pick from so that they have a better team. And I'm like, that is so ass backwards.
Right.
It's like, dude, you are trying to rip apart a team so that you can build up a team. That sounds
That's
so,
the opposite of early game.
yes, that's the exact opposite of what you want to do. And like they have a big enough school, like they have 900 kids at that school now. You should be able to put together a decent football team, especially with there's some athletes around here. There's some decent athletes around here. Like they should be. They have the biggest school in the county. They should be the best team in the county
They
by
should be
far.
fine. Yeah.
So bumping and
Huh.
grinding.
Bum and grind.
Yeah.
Bum and grind. Do you want to hit sink and swim? How long have we been going? Does it say how long we've been recording on your
I
screen?
have no idea. I mean, we hopped on at like a little past 9:30. It's 11 o'clock right now, so we've been going for a little bit. But I don't know. Yeah, let's do a quick sink or swim. You
Yeah,
got
because
one?
I gotta get showered and get ready. Quick sink and swim. My sink is that some guy that I was supposed to hire had his appendix burst, so I was still continuing to be down staffed.
Uh,
Um, check your appendix. When I was told that, I was like, shit, my brother almost died one time.
yeah.
Uh, get your appendix checked, and my swim is that it's Bergie, you can be quiet. You can be quiet. My swim is that I had a buddy come visit in town last weekend and just got him real banged up and I made him throw up and it's awesome because he's a married man and he's like a rich country club boy now.
Bag.
Um,
Really nice.
but he bought me a Lululemon hoodie because when we walked in there, I was like, oh, I'll never buy this for myself because it's too expensive. Like, not really trying to like take a shot at myself, but I would just never buy something that nice for myself unless I had a gift card or something. And then we walk out and Chad just hands me a bag. He's like, here. I was like, you're such a douche.
Yeah,
So it was very nice and I appreciate it. So I got a Lululemon hoodie and I got him really banged up and I made him throw up. Overall win-win.
that's a fair trade-off if you ask me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Um, did you say your sink? Yeah, yeah. The appendix. It's a
Yeah,
big
dude, don't let your appendix burst. So that shout out my boy.
yeah.
Hope he's doing all right.
Listen, man, the appendix gets the best of everybody. All right. But you'll be down for a day and you'll be back and better than ever.
They told me 4 weeks, so I think it might have bursted.
For a
Yeah,
week.
yours are so small.
He's bullshitting. I don't know. I got a couple ones. I'm not gonna bring it all the way down for you, but
Yeah, that's the thing is that this dude is speaks 5 words of English and he just wants to work. Like he was hitting me up before his contract was signed. He's like, I just want to work. I just want to go. Like I just want to
oh
come in. Can I
really?
come in tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah, but some people are weird about health situation. Like honestly, I think I went back the week after I got my appendix taken out. I think I took like 1 or 2 days off and then I went in and my boss like, dude, what are you doing here? I was like, I just don't want to sit at home and do nothing. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't know, but anyway, tough. What do you got for me?
Sync. Had a date with a girl. She canceled on me. But that's
Yeah.
the same girl. Dude, all right, let's get into it a little bit with this. So, now I won't go too deep in because we're trying to wrap this up. But like, I did like a quick temperature check. Dude, we've been going out ever so often for like a year or so now, on and off.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I was like, she's confusing me. So I hit her. I was like, hey, let's see, let's see what I said. I basically was like, let's do a quick temp check here. I was like, hey, um, like I enjoy going out with you. It's been super cool. I think we think very similarly. Every time I've gone out with you, it's been a lot of fun. And I find myself excited to see you the next time. Um, I was like, to be completely honest, I feel like there's like a little bit of hesitancy on her end. So I said that, and I was like, I just want to get like an idea of where your head's at. And dude, just being 27 years old, like there's no fucking point in continuing to like string someone along if you like are not
Right.
genuinely interested in that.
Right.
So I'm
I
like,
feel that
well,
at my age. Yeah.
yeah, it's like either you're interested and you want to continue to see this person more, or you're just keeping yourself entertained and so like I was like, all right, I got to figure out where her head's at. And she gave me this answer that was like, hey, I really appreciate, because she canceled on me twice, dude. Like the weekend before, she was sick, and I think that was genuine. Um, but she canceled on me, and I was like, and then I sent her that like the couple days after, and then she's like, I really appreciate you like you doing this and like being, because I was like, hey, can I keep it real with you real quick? And then I sent that text message. And she's like, I really appreciate. I was like, she's like, the next person that I date, I want to be the last. And I was like, same here. Like, isn't that the
Yeah.
goal for everyone? I was like, I guess that's why I had done it. And she's like, yeah, I think you're cool. Um, but it just nothing really, she said really like convinced me that she's just like, it's really important to me. And like, uh, I just want to make sure I'm making the right decision. And but to me, dude, like if you've gone out on a date with a person like five, six times, you should be able to be like, yeah, I can see myself like at
Right.
least like I'm interested to pursue more, um, and see where this thing goes, or like I gotta cut it,
Right.
you know? And
Yeah,
she,
that was a situation I found myself in kind of recently.
yeah,
So yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's like, it, what's the point of like continuing to string some along? So then the funny thing is that like she set up the last date. She reached out to me on Wednesday. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Let's go to Longmeadow. Let's go get dinner. And I was like, yeah, like that sounds great. She's like, I'm going skiing the next day. Um, so can we do it early? I don't want to be out too late. I was like, word, sounds good. Texted her that day, Friday. Hey, like excited to. I was like, does 5:30, 6 o'clock sound good? Like a couple days later, she's like, yeah, that's great. Texted her that day. I was like, hey, excited to go to dinner with you. What time are you thinking? A little bit closer to 5:30 or 6? And then she's like, oh, like I was just about to text you. Like my dad's staying over tonight. I have to cancel. I'm sorry. And I was just like, you cancel on me on back-to-back weekends. She's made the plans the past 2 weekends. Like, I think I almost feel like either like there's something in her subconscious that's like, I'm not totally sold on this dude. Otherwise,
Right.
like you genuinely you make stuff happen if you are really interested in seeing.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
I know.
saying?
I know that feeling.
Otherwise, like if she was genuinely interested in like wanted to see me, she would have said to her dad, like, "Hey, dad, I made plans with this dude. Can you come over like a little bit later? I'm going out to dinner. I'll meet with you later."
Right.
You know? So it just doesn't seem like her effort is going the length that I'm going at this point. So it kind of sucks, but I'm just like, I think she is trying to be transparent, but there is something in her subconscious that it's like she's not putting everything on the table and she's being a little bit more reserved. And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
she's maybe not being so used to being held accountable for stuff like that.
yeah, but my thing is like, I would much rather you tell me like, hey, like I'm not into it, and I'd be like, all right, perfect. Like I'll move on with my life, and it won't bump like maybe it'll bum me out for a sec, rather than being in this weird fucking limbo of like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
What's your
yeah.
swim?
Oh, swim. Uh, oh man, I can't really say the one that I really want to say, but I don't want to jinx it. Let's see. Swim. I went out. I guess I went out to dinner with mom. There's something else, dude. But mom, dad, Matt, Anna, and had a good dinner. Just a little reset with fam, and yeah,
You
that
said
was
there's
good.
something else. Is it something that I can't know yet or something?
No, no, no. It's just I don't
Oh,
want to. It's I'm superstitious. Maybe a
okay.
little, maybe a little stitious. Maybe a little stitious. So
A
I'm
little
not gonna.
dishes.
Yeah, you'll find out about it down the line. Maybe we'll
Okay.
keep something a little interesting there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a little stitious. I'm not
A little
superstitious.
dishes.
A little stitious.
All right. It's good to get a reset with the family. I'm excited to see you guys when you guys come down here.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. Uh, let's quick pro tip when we're out.
Yeah, quick pro tip. Get a dog. Dogs are a man's best friend for a reason. Even though he's a pain in the fucking ass and he's annoying, he's spoiled because I'm the one that lives with him. He only knows me. When I come home after a long, shitty day of work, he's still the best part of the day. Get a dog.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pro tip for me would be,
He's looking right at you. There he was.
but um, go see like a high school sports event. It's fun. Uh,
Yeah.
I went to a high school basketball game earlier this week. It came down to the last shot, and
Oh, that's sick.
there was a lot of hype, and that environment's fun, dude. Like that environment's really fun. Like
Oh,
remember
no doubt.
like at like a high school basketball game when you were a kid, like being in the student section, rooting on your boys, like it's pretty fire. It was going back and forth. The best player on one team, he got injured, but then he came back and then
Damn
he yeah, it was pretty sick.
it.
So go see a little get a little high school sports action and then have a conversation with your brother's dog.
Right. I mean, I went to a high school football game not too long ago, and it was good. The inner city football around Durham is very good. So
That's cool.
yeah, there's some legit athletes on the team. All right, I got another swim. Is that I gotta poop again. I'm pretty stoked about it. 2 times before work even starts.
Yeah, I'm fired up for you. That's good stuff.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go take Berg on onto the tennis court, play some ball with him. Um, I'm trying to think of a good way to end home turf with Tuck and Murph. Go have birth.
I see
Would
where
be
you're going.
better.
And that is another episode of Home.
Home turf with Tuck and Murph.
That is another episode of Home Turf with Tuck and Murph.
And
Um,
you go, what up, chow? And you go, "Toot," like a whistle noise.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And then
see.
we peace out. All right, I'm gonna poop myself.